Animal cells and plant cells are both representative types of eukaryotic cells. So since they are both eukaryotes, they do share a lot of things in common. So if we were to list some of the things that they have in common, one of those first off would be a nucleus. And that's something that we're going to find in all eukaryotic cells. Other things that they both have is a plasma membrane. And so that would be the membrane around the outside of the cell. They are going to both share a mitochondria. They are going to both have other various organelles, such as the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi. That would be another one. So they do have a lot of stuff in common. They do both have small vacuoles. Now, if we were to then talk about the unique things to them, what makes them different from each other, if we start off talking first of all about the outside of the cell, and by outside of the cell, I'm talking about beyond the plasma membrane. Well, in animal cells, outside of the plasma membrane, we have what's called an extracellular matrix. And that extracellular matrix is going to be made up of glycoproteins, and so sugary proteins. Those are going to provide a fibrous, sticky coating on the outside of the animal cell. But one of the key things about it is that it's going to be very flexible. And this is going to allow the animal cell to change shape, which is something that is important for movement. Now with plant cells don't move, and so instead of the extracellular matrix, they're going to have what we call a cell wall. And the cell wall is going to be a very rigid structure. This rigid box around the outside is going to provide a lot of protection, and this is made up of a polysaccharide called cellulose. It's still fibers that are making it up, but it is a very strong material. Another thing that we do have special connections that allow animal cells to communicate with each other. And these are going to be gap junctions. Those gap junctions are going to allow cytoplasm really from one cell to connect with another cell. And that is important for communication between cells. So keep in mind that animals are made up of many cells, and all of those cells are really supposed to be working together to run that one organism. So the gap junctions, since they are cytoplasmic channels or tunnels of cytoplasm, if you do have small ions or signaling molecules, those are going to be able to then pass from one cell to the next through those junctions. The plant cells do have something comparable. Theirs are going to be called plasmodesmata. One of the big differences here is that the plasmodesmata do have to extend through the cell wall of the two adjacent plant cells. But even so, they are going to be cytoplasmic connections or tunnels of cytoplasm that do run from one cell to the next. Other things that are unique, if we focus on the animals for just a moment, they do have an organelle called a lysosome, which we will not find in plants. That is important for digestion. So the lysosome can digest various food particles or other parts of the cell if they are damaged and need to be recycled. Animal cells will also have a centriole or centrioles and centrosomes. Both of those are going to be associated with the microtubule organizing complex. You do have microtubule organizing complexes in plant cells, but they will not have the centrioles and the centrosomes associated with them. On the plant side of things, we do have the chloroplast as something that is unique to plants. That's going to allow them to have a second way of getting energy besides using the mitochondria and cellular respiration. So in addition to that, the chloroplast is going to be able to harvest energy from the sun or from light, and it's going to be able to use photosynthesis to make some food from it. One last thing on the plant side is that we are going to have a very large vacuole called a central vacuole. And that central vacuole is going to occupy the vast majority of the inside of a plant cell, and it will be used for storage of various things. So that could be storage of water, it could be storage of waste products, sometimes it's storage of food products, and it also does play a major role in the growth of a plant cell. So that's a snapshot of plant versus animal cells, showing us what's going to be similar or the same between the two, right there in the middle. And then we can also see the unique characteristics that each of them does have.